Support for My Corruption 'Tis of Thee comes from OJ Multivitamins, the perfect blend of nutrients for fight or flight reactions. Take as many as you want for extra effect. OJ Multivitamins for when you need a good offense and defense.
Ready, OJ? Ready.
From the Nesbitt building of the UNG Gainesville campus, this is My Corruption 'Tis of Thee, a podcast covering the disreputable proceedings of common systems within the U.S. Today we are investigating the judicial system and how it allows high-profile criminals to walk away free, while innocent people are unjustly locked away in jail for the rest of their lives. I'm Jason, joined by Nuno, Stephanie, Eric, and Natalia. As English students, we have studied, analyzed, and ultimately reached a conclusion regarding these cases. Now we can release the information to our audiences. For all of our younger listeners, we will cover mature topics.
Listener discretion is advised. Ever since prehistoric humans discovered agriculture and allowed kinship groups to form societies led by powerful leaders, personal accumulation of wealth has always caused an increase in authority. While in the past, wealthy elites could use their money to hire guards to physically protect their estates, today we see money used to grant a different type of protection, legal protection. In the modern American judicial system, money and fame is consistently used to grant exemption from being found guilty of crime.
Imagine you are faced with deciding who committed a murder. One of the suspects is a minimum wage worker at a supermarket who goes home and plays video games every day, and the other is a world-class athlete who just signed a new baseball contract. Given this information, who do you think did it? Society would have you believe that the celebrity is less likely to commit such a crime because surely they must be a good person in order to achieve all that they have, right? In reality, people with fame often abuse said fame for personal gain, whether for monetary advantages or for other primitive desires. Today, the expanding #MeToo movement pushes to increase society's belief of victim stories, especially those of sexual assault. The movement faces resistance due to society's refusal to admit that they are wrong. We don't like to know that our childhood heroes are abusers, and cognitive dissonance leads us to choose between admitting fault for our incorrect judgments or turning a blind eye to the victims and their stories. The precursor to the modern #MeToo movement were the allegations against Bill Cosby, accusing him of sexually assaulting multiple women over several decades. Already a household name by the 1980s, reporters were reluctant to publish stories about women who came forward and admitted to being assaulted by Cosby. The trend continued for the next few decades as the public was not ready to face the fact that the seemingly innocent America's dad was actually a horrible person behind the scenes. Reporters knew society wasn't ready, so they stayed quiet. It took nearly half a century for the allegations to become public, and for Cosby to face justice for his crimes.
Sometimes victims of wealthy celebrities have a strong support system and are encouraged to formally file a lawsuit. As mentioned, the #MeToo movement has been successfully striving towards a society where victims of sexual assault are not shamed for speaking out, and as a result, such stories have become more prevalent in the media. Yet, in many cases, even when a wealthy criminal is legally accused, the case never proceeds as expected. The victim drops the suit in return for a settlement. This is not surprising. Court cases can be extremely expensive and can bankrupt a victim while they are still involved in it. Wealthy criminals use this to their advantage by providing a monetary incentive to drop the case. For many, the survival-driven instincts of being able to pay rent or to afford food are more important than seeing an abuser locked up. Criminals are therefore able to use money to buy out judicial justice. These types of cases are disturbingly common. For example, in 2013, an anonymous victim filed a lawsuit against an officer of the Department of Corrections in New York. She claimed that horrible sexual acts were forced onto her by an officer and some of his colleagues. Just this week, the city of said department, Rikers Island, agreed to pay $1.2 million in settlement fees for the victim to drop the case. This is an unmistakable case of judicial corruption, as the city government is using their vast expanse of money, some of which was surely taxed from the victim herself, to silence her and obstruct justice to defend their own staff. Corruption implies that the system is at fault. In this case, the system itself is abusing its powers to win court cases against its victims.